What's up, baseball fans? Welcome back to Talkin' Mets and Rob. How's everybody doing? Before I get started talking about which team in Major League Baseball in 2022 are pretenders and contenders, don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you enjoy my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live, you guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. Alright, guys, so which teams in Major League Baseball for the 2022 season are contenders and pretenders? We are going to go through all the teams in Major League Baseball and tell you which one are pretenders and contenders. And we are going to start with the American League West teams. Who are the pretenders and who are the contenders? And we're going to do it right now, guys. So here we go. The AL West team, starting with the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are an up-and-coming team. They're young. They made a huge signing in the Cy Young, Robbie Ray. They also traded for star outfielder from the Cincinnati Reds, Jesse Winker, and also Eugenio Suarez in a big trade during the offseason, guys. The Seattle Mariners are a team that you have to watch out for in the AL West, guys, and they are definitely in the AL West contenders. In the AL West, guys, they are gonna really go after the Houston Astros, who I think are the cream of the crop. The Seattle Mariners, with the young talent that they have, the pretty good pitching staff, and the lineup that is very, very powerful. If you look at it from 1 through 9, guys, this team is going to be problems in the American League, and I have a very good feeling, guys, that they're going to make the playoffs, and they are definitely contenders, guys. Next team in the AL West, the Houston Astros. The Houston Astros are still probably the best team in the AL West. Yes, they did lose Carlos Correa, but a young prospect shortstop, Jeremy Pena, looks like a bona fide star, and he fills right into the Carlos Correa shortstop position. Yes, we're not sure if he's clutch like Carlos Correa was, but they still got a pretty darn good rotation in Verlander and Valdez. The Houston Astros with Altuve, with Bregman, are still a team to be reckoned with in the AL West, guys, and they are definitely contenders in the AL West and possibly contenders for a World Series. Going with the third team in the AL West, we're going to go with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Angels, guys, are a team that made very good moves this offseason. They brought in Noah Syndergaard. They brought back the best reliever and best closer in baseball in Iglesias. They are a team to be reckoned with, guys. There is no doubt about that. They also solidified their bullpen, bringing in Ryan Tepera and also Aaron Loup, who was one of the best relievers in the game last year for the New York Mets. The Los Angeles Angels, guys, not only do they have veteran in Rendon, the best player in baseball in Trout, but they also have Joe Adell. They also have Walsh. This lineup, if healthy, could remain very, very powerful. And even though Ohtani and Syndergaard in that 1-2 in that rotation are really good 1-2 in the rotation, guys, they might have a little bit of difficulty with their back end of the rotation. But I do believe with the improvements that the Angels have made, I do believe they are contenders in the AL West, guys. And they are going to be a team to also fight not only for a wild card, but also for an AL West against the Astros and the Mariners. Going with the fourth team in the AL West is a team that made 2 huge signings, and that is the Texas Rangers. Not only do they have John Gray at the top of their rotation as their ace, but they brought in Marcus Semien and Corey Seager, over $500 million to the Texas Rangers to play in that beautiful ballpark in Global Life Park in Texas. The Texas Rangers, I do believe, are contenders in the AL West. So you got 4 quality, really, really good teams that can contend for the division and wildcard spots in the playoffs. 4 teams. The Texas Rangers are contenders, guys. They are going to be creeping up very quickly, and they're one of the surprise teams, I think, can actually win the division in the AL West. That is the Texas Rangers, and they are contenders. The last team in the AL West is the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's went through a fire sale during the offseason, getting rid of Chris Bassett, Chapman, Olsen, looking like they might get rid of Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas. They are going through a complete rebuild, like always with the Oakland A's. The lineup is basically nobody you actually probably know unless you're in the city of Oakland. The Oakland A's guys are no doubt about pretenders in the AL West. They have no shot, guys. They're going to be the worst team in the AL West. They might even be one of the worst teams in baseball in the 2022 season. The Oakland A's are pretenders in the AL West, guys. The next division we're going to go to see who are pretenders and contenders, guys, is the AL Central. We are going to start with the Cleveland Guardians in the AL Central, guys. The Cleveland Guardians are a rebuilding team, no doubt about it. They traded for Lindor. They traded Carrasco. Yes, they do have a couple of pitchers in the rotation that could definitely do some damage with their rotation, but their lineup is not that good. They still got Jose Ramirez, but other than that, there's not a lot of big pieces in that lineup. Cleveland is still going through a really big rebuild. Their payroll is under $50 million, and they're going to be one of the worst teams in the AL Central, and there is no doubt about it, guys. The Cleveland Guardians, even with the name change, are pretenders in 2022 in the AL Central. The next team we're going to talk about is the Kansas City Royals. Yes, they have Bobby Witt Jr., who is supposed to be one of the best prospects in all of baseball, probably breaking through on the Major League roster, but that's basically it when it comes to the Kansas City Royals. Yes, they signed the good old friend Zach Greinke, but he's way past his prime. The Kansas City Royals are also going to be one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, and definitely in the AL Central. They're going to fight it out for last place with the Guardians. The Kansas City Royals, guys, are pretenders in the AL Central in 2022. The next team is the Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota Twins made the big blockbuster signing in Carlos Correa. Everybody was shocked about that with the 3-year deal with the first-year opt-out. They made some pitching moves to help with their rotation with Sonny Gray. The Minnesota Twins, I do believe, can be wild-card contenders and be second in the AL Central, guys. They are definitely contenders in the AL Central, guys. Fighting it out with the Chicago White Sox, which is the next team we're going to talk about. The Chicago White Sox with Anderson and Roberts in that lineup. A powerful lineup for the Chicago White Sox. And with their ace, Lucas Giolito, aiming at that first spot in the rotation, guys. With the two bad teams in the Guardians and the Royals, the White Sox are going to do a lot of damage to those two teams, and it's going to help their overall record. The Chicago White Sox, I believe, are going to be the AL Central champions and are definitely contenders in the AL Central, and definitely can be a big contender in the playoffs and possible World Series aspirations on the south side of Chicago. The White Sox are contenders, guys, in the AL Central. Last team in the AL Central is the Detroit Tigers. Yes, they made a very nice signing in Javier Baez, but they're a team that is up and coming. They got a lot of talent coming up in the farm system that should be up over the next 2 years or so. The Detroit Tigers, at this point, are pretenders in my book, guys. They're about a year or two away before they can be considered contenders in the AL Central or even sniff the playoffs. At this point, I think the Minnesota Twins and the Chicago White Sox are the two contenders in this AL Central, guys. So the Detroit Tigers are pretenders in the AL Central, guys. So that is the AL Central for pretenders and contenders. The last division in the American League is the AL East, and we are going to start with the Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles, guys, are going to be the worst team in the AL East. There's no doubt about that. We do like Mullins, a very nice player. Yes, they have a couple other players that are pretty good in their team, But once again, guys, the Baltimore Orioles are going to be the worst team in the AL East, and they have no shot of making the playoffs, guys. They are definitely pretenders in the AL East, guys. The Baltimore Orioles, not any good, will have no shot of winning any type of AL East, and definitely not making the playoffs. They are definitely pretenders. Next team in the AL East is the Tampa Rays. The Tampa Rays, on paper, always look like they're not going to be as good as they actually end up being at the end of the year. On paper, they look like an 85-win team at best, and they somehow win over 90 games over the last couple of years with basically guys coming out of nowhere, and they always find a way with their great analytical team, finding players and putting players in the right position. Obviously, they got a star in Wander Franco, and I do think the Tampa Bay Rays are contenders in the AL East. They always find a way to win 90-plus games and always contend in the AL East and somehow make the playoffs over the last couple of years. The Tampa Bay Rays, guys, are contenders in the AL East. There is no doubt about that. The next team we're going to talk about in the AL East is the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays made so many moves in the offseason. They got better with their lineup, which didn't really need a lot of help. They're already a powerhouse. Yes, they lost Simeon, but they also got Chapman. And you throw in Springer from last year. And you got Guerrero and Bichette and all those guys. And Biggio. All of these guys are just going to rake all year in this lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays. They finally can play in their home ballpark in Toronto. It was very tough last year for them in Buffalo most of the year. But now they can play in their home ballpark in Toronto in front of their fans. The Toronto Blue Jays even boosted their rotation by getting Gausman and Kikuchi. They are a dangerous team in the AL East. I believe they're going to win the AL East, and that's why they are contenders in the AL East, guys, and are seriously a team that can contend for a World Series. I think they're the best team in the AL East, guys. They're going to be one of the better teams in all of the American League. The Toronto Blue Jays are a team to be reckoned with, guys, and definitely are contenders and definitely will win the AL East in 2022. The next team we're going to talk about, our pretenders, our contenders, are the Boston Red Sox. What are they? The Boston Red Sox did make a late signing in Trevor Story. I don't think it's a great move, but it's a solid move, especially in that ballpark with the Green Monster. They obviously got Devers. They got Martinez. They're still a very good team. I don't think they're going to win the AL East, but they're definitely going to have a chance to make the wild card. I do think the Boston Red Sox are contenders in the AL East. They're going to fight their way to try to win the AL East, but I think they're going to fall just a little bit short, but do have a chance to make the wild card in 2022. So the Boston Red Sox are contenders in the AL East. Last but not least, it is the New York Yankees. The Yankees did not make hardly any moves this offseason to better their team. They did make that one trade with the Twins for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Josh Donaldson. Not earth-shattering moves that you expect the Yankees to make in free agency or in trades. The New York Yankees seem like they're not better than they were last year. Yes, they got better defensively, but it seems like the same old with their lineup, and their rotation after Cole is very questionable. The New York Yankees, I still believe, are a 90-win team, and I am going to put them as contenders only because you can never count out the New York Yankees in baseball. You just can't do it until you actually see it with your own eyes. On paper, they look like a team that struggles, especially with the Toronto Blue Jays and the Rays and the Red Sox vying for a playoff spot. The Yankees are going to have a hard time with a lot of these teams in their own division, not including the teams that are already in the American League that they have to face. But the AL East is going to be very difficult for the Yankees this year, but I still think they can still contend for a playoff spot in 2022. So the New York Yankees are contenders in the AL East. So that is your American League pretenders and contenders, guys. Once again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you enjoy my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live, You guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. Let me know in the comments what you think of the American League teams that I think are pretenders and contenders. Once again, guys, I really appreciate all the support. And as always, baseball fans and Mets fans, let's go Mets.